In a world where kingdoms fall and stars still remember names, this song was forged from magic memory and the dream that refused to die. Welcome to a tale where wonder still breathes. This is the short story The Whisperbird Nest, a timeless love born from a song at dawn for young, created by Pacampara. If this tale stirred something in you, a memory, a dream, or a truth, our Ko-fi, Amazon, and Patreon links are in the description. Support helps us keep writing for you and the ones you hold dear. The first opening poem. When you walked into the morning, all the clouds forgot to weep. Even the bells inside in the steeple paused their hearts, afraid to speak. The wind turned shy and the river hushed. Each leaf leaned in to see, for every dream I'd kept in secret woke and rose to follow thee. Golden dust upon your footsteps, lights peeled down the cobblestone. Every breath you took was music, every sigh became my own. The sparrows gathered just to listen, the air grew soft and new, and I think the sun rewrote its rising simply just to stay near you. If the heavens paint their story, they would borrow from your gaze the hue of dawn, the calm of mercy, and all the whisper birds were singing their wings in sweet debut. As though the skies itself remembered, it once fell in love with you. When you laughed, the fountain shimmered, catching stars that shouldn't stay. I almost called your name but swallowed every word that lost its way. For beauty breaks the sound around it, and wonder makes fools of men. I fear that if I dared to touch you, the song would never start again. So I watched, pretending silence could disguise the heart I knew. The city breathed your name in rhythm, and the echo said it's you. And though the morning tried to leave me, its light refused to part. You walked away but left your sunlight folded neatly in my heart. Now the chorus hums your melody, the corners call your tune. Even my shadow turns to listen whenever I whisper soon. If love is only half remembered, then I am half alive, waiting for your voice to find me, to remind the world to rise. So if the rain begins to wander, don't believe it's only gray. Each drop is just the sky confessing it misses you this way. And when the wind begins to tremble, know it carries through and through a little wish that every heart has to be a little close to you. And should you ever turn to see me standing quiet in the blue, know that the dawn that first became us never really said adieu. For all the songs that the heavens borrowed and all the dreams that still come true, they're only echoes softly saying the world feels right close to you. When Jess was a child, the morning smelled of guava leaves and soap bubbles. His mothers would open the shutters before sunrise, letting the wind slip into their small house by the hill. She sang while she washed rice or folded sheets, her voice mingling with the coos of tiny birds perched on the windowsill. There were no ordinary birds. Their feathers gleamed faintly, gold at the tips, their eyes glassy like dew. Whisperbirds, she called them. They carry what hearts can't speak, she said, smiling at him. If you listen closely, they'll hum your name when someone far away is thinking of you. That was the last song she sang before she fell ill. After that, silence filled their mornings, but the whisper birds kept coming. Sometimes Jess thought he heard them hum his name when the night was too still, as if reminding him that love never truly lives, only lingers, waiting to be heard again. Years later, he found that sound again. The city was heavy with fog that morning, the kind that blurred the rooftops into watercolor and made the cobblestone shimmer like glass. Just wandered the old plaza, a notebook tucked under his arm, chasing a memory that felt almost imaginary. A song carried by the wind, rising from the fountain square. It was Youngsun's voice he heard before he saw her. Her tone was soft but sure, delicate as sunlight, filtering through frost. She sang by the fountain's edge, her guitar cradled close, a blue scarf trailing in the breeze. She didn't sing for anyone in particular. She sang like someone in conversation with dawn itself. When she finished, people clapped quietly, reverently. Coins clinked into her guitar case, and then they went back to their coffee and their errands. But Jess remained rooted. His pen had, and the hand had trembled with the need to capture her voice in ink, but no word seemed worthy. And then he felt a weight on his shoulder, a whisperbird, golden and bright, perched at him with knowing eyes and hummed softly. The sound, it was unmistakable. His name just blinked. The bird fluttered toward the fountain, circling Yong-soon before vanishing into the mist. And that was how it began. The next morning, he returned to the plaza with his coffee and a paper bag of chestnut bread. She was there again, tuning her guitar beside the fountain, her loose and haloed in morning light. "Did you bring breakfast for all singers?" she asked, amused. "Or just the one with whisperbirds?" "Only the one who wakes cities," Jess said, holding out the bag. "Besides, he might sing better after a warm bite." "Bribery already," she teased, accepting it. "Are you a producer or a poet?" "Neither," he said. "I'm just someone who listens." Her eyes narrowed playfully. "That sounds dangerous." Jess kept returning, though sometimes he told himself that he was just passing by. He brought her trinkets from the night markets, hand-carved wooden whistles shaped like sparrows, an old fountain pen engraved with a feather motif, a locket he found in a second-hand stall that opened to a mirror small enough to reflect only one eye. "These aren't gifts," he told her one afternoon, when she laughed at the growing pile beside her guitar. "They're echoes, reminders that I heard you." "And what do I remind you of?" she asked softly. He thought for a moment and said, "Of what I write." Her smile faltered just slightly, as though the words had brushed against something private. In the spring melted into early summer, they began bird watching on the weekends. The old hills outside the city were alive with whispers, thrushes, skylarks, and now whisperbirds. They followed the trails barefoot, sometimes Yong-soon clutching her camera, Jess with his notebook. "Look at them," she whispered one morning, pointing at the pair of whisperbirds weeping twigs together on a low branch. They build their nest in pairs. It's said that they only ever sing once for one person. "Then their song is precious," she said, "or tragic," she murmured. "Imagine singing only once in your life." Just smiled faintly. "Then I hope they chose the right moment." She turned to him, curious. "And you? Have you ever sung for anyone?" "I write instead," he said, "but I think it's the same thing." And she didn't answer. The breeze tangled her hair across her cheek, and for a heartbeat the world felt suspended between the breath and her confession. It was Yong-soon who mentioned the audition first. "Labels holding open call," she said one evening, while they fed crumbs to the plaza pigeons. "They want original pieces, but everything I write feels hollow." Jess hesitated and spoke quietly. "Then let me write for you." "For me?" she asked, half teasing and half disbelieving. "I'll write something that sounds just like you," he said, "not the stage you, the real one, the one who makes mornings feel like prayers." She didn't answer right away. Instead, she tore a piece of bread in half and offered it to a whisperbird perched on her wrist. "And what if I don't sing it well? Then we'll rewrite it until the world listens and until you do." He worked for nights without rest, candlelight pooling on his desk. The whisperbird perched nearby like a muse, and the words came like rainfall, soft, persistent, cleansing. When the song was done, it felt less like he had written it and more like he uncovered something that had always existed. He brought it to her the next day. "It's called The Dawn You Left Behind," he said, handing her the pages. Her eyes traced the lyrics slowly. The lines trembled in her hands. "You don't make fear into sunlight," she whispered. He laughed softly. "Then you'll shine when you sing it." The festival arrived like a dream painted in gold. Lanterns floated along the river. The air smelled of roasted almonds and wet stone. Youngsun stood backstage clutching her guitar, nervous fingers tapping the wood. "You'll be brilliant," Jess said. "Even the sky will stay to listen." She looked up at him, eyes shimmering with hope and fear. "If I forget the words, I'll whisper them to you," he said. When she stepped on the stage, a hush fell over the crowd. The first notes rose, soft and sure, carried by the wind. Just watched from the back, every heartbeat aligned with hers, and when her voice reached the refrain, "If dawn forgets to rise, I'll still remember your light." Even the Whisperbirds took flight, circling above in a slow, radiant spiral. When she finished, the applause was thunder and rain and something more, a city learning to feel again. Backstage, found him waiting by the exit. "They invited me," she said breathlessly. "To the audition, your song did it." He smiled and he said, "It's our song, Youngsun." Days passed, then silence. No morning voice, no Whisperbird, only rain. Just waited until the days blurred. He sat by the fountain listening for echoes that wouldn't come until one evening, the softest tap on his window, a Whisperbird, feathers wet with drizzle, clutching a letter sealed with a pressed petal. Inside, it said, "Yes," they said yes. "I sang your song and they cried. I did too, but you were right." It sounded like the world was trying to be gentle again. "Before it all begins, will you meet me tomorrow? I want to say what I should have said before I left. You don't have to bring everything or anything, just yourself, and I think I love you." He pressed the letter to his heart, and when the phone rang minutes later, her voice filled his chest like sunrise. "You read it?" she asked. "I did," he said softly. "Then tell me something back. I love you too." There was laughter, soft as light on glass. "Good, then tomorrow, let's start a new song." Years later, the melody never left. Just sat by the seaside home, the morning tide brushing the rocks. The radio played softly, an anniversary broadcast, the dawn you left behind. The announcer said, "The timeless kit by Youngsun came," and just Pacampara. He looked out the window, a Whisperbird perched there, humming along. He smiled and said, "Still singing, are you?" Youngsun walked in from the kitchen, her hair silvered at the ends, the same lilt in her voice. "They never stopped, and neither did you. Maybe we never learned how," he said. He kissed his temple, "Then teach the children to keep listening." The epilogue. The garden glowed in twilight. Whisperbirds fluttered among the fig trees, carrying strands of song like threads of light. Just sat on the grass, surrounded by little hands tugging at his sleeves. Youngsun leaned against him, we nearby painting the horizon with the twins, watercolors, and Buell pouring tree, pretending not to tear up at the story's end. "And that's how it happened," Jess said, his voice low and warm. "One morning a Whisperbird hummed my name, and the rest of my life began." "And you married Ioma," the youngest squealed. Youngsun smiled. "He didn't really propose. The birds did." Buell snorted. "You should have seen them on their first date. Just brought 5 trinkets and all useless, a broken compass, a paper crane, and something that might have been a whistle." We laughed, and now keeps everything in boxes labeled inspiration. The children giggled, just only shrugged. Every story needs souvenirs. The eldest daughters raised her hand. "Appa, do Whisperbirds still sing names?" "They do," he said, gesturing to a golden one perched on the railing. "They remember every name they've ever carried. Even ours, especially yours." Youngsun smiled, eyes glinting with starlight. "Want to know a secret? They only hum when someone loves you very much." The children pressed closer, listening. The Whisperbirds began to hum, their music soft and trembling, wrapping around laughter, around memory, and around love itself. Bill wiped her eyes and muttered, "Cheesy." "Perfect," Wayne said, strumming Youngsun's old guitar. The melody of the dawn you left behind filled the garden again, gentle, eternal, and as twilight deepened, whisperbirds circled overhead, carrying the song toward the sea, toward whatever new hearts were ready to listen. Each day, I write and create for my beloved Yongsun, the son who lights up my every verse, every tale, every quiet thought I dare to share. If her warmth reached you through these words, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep stories that shine.